country and its recent history. Man of Good Hope is based on a much-loved novel by South African author Johnny Steinberg. The musical narrative chronicles the true story of the journey of a young Somalian refugee who travels to South Africa in search of a better life for himself and finds the total opposite in the form of xenophobic attacks and violence. Joining us from our Seapoint studio to tell us more about the musical, which ends today, is the musical director Mandisi Dyantyis. Mandisi, thank you very much for joining me. What is it about this book that was worth revisiting?
The resonating story of South Africa. It's a story about how we treat the foreign nationals who come to our countries, the plight that they go through in our townships, and we had to look at ourselves, you know, in relation to that. What makes us feel that, and what makes us sometimes become terrible to these people, you know, and we were trying to find out the different reasons for that.
I'm going to be one of those people that argue it takes a genius to take a book and translate it into some kind of musical, add music to it, translate the power of that story into music, which is already a very powerful art form. How difficult or how easy was this process?
It was very difficult. It was very difficult, but we normally, as a company, take classical pieces, European classical pieces, and we adapt them and make them South African. So this was an African story which we had to just stay true to and make it South African. The landscape and the vast influences of music in Africa is very interesting. So it was very interesting, and we had to make this as authentic as possible.
The issue of xenophobia is it's such a raw nerve for South Africa and Africa as a whole, maybe worldwide. How are you able to separate the emotion from telling a story that is still so much part of who we are, our society, our community? Some people were personally affected by it. How do you make sure that you tell a story that relates to everybody and not influence it with your own ideas?
I mean, Johnny writes it well to start with, but I don't think you can separate the emotion, because we live in the townships, you know, and we experience these things, and so all we can do is to look at both sides, you know. People come to our country looking for a better life because we have the resources, but also we need to look at the plight of our people in the way that they live in our townships. And so what triggers that, you know, because then they have to blame someone, because the people that they want to blame, they can't blame, you know, so they look for the next best thing to blame. And so therefore, that's where the conflict happens. And so we had to look at that.
I don't think Johnny Steinberg, when he wrote Man of Good Hope, thought it was ever going to be a musical one day. But have you had in the audiences over the last couple of days, today's the last showing of it, have you had people that have actually read the book and have come seen the musical? And what was the reaction to seeing it now translated and transformed to this brand new thing?
It's been brilliant. A lot of people who have come to listen to the musical have been people who have read the book. We have had the pleasure of working with Johnny as well. You know, he came to the shows twice last week, and he gave us input on that. And so it's been interesting, because we have taken this epic book and we've tried to sort of make it into an epic musical, which people have loved and enjoyed. But also I think they are intrigued or surprised by how much violence is in the book, because when you see it live on stage, it's different from when you're reading it at home.
Two-part question, very last question from me. It's at the District 6 Museum. Why? And is there any plans for it to tour South Africa?
It's at the District 6 Museum because we felt that District 6 Museum is probably the perfect place to play it because of the history and the displacement of people. We are playing there. We were supposed to be doing our last show tonight, but we've been extended. So
wow,
we'll start
congratulations.
Again on Thursday. Pardon?
Congratulations, wow.
Yes, so we'll be playing on Thursday, the 31st, through to Sunday. So we've got a show Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 2 on Sundays.
Okay, we're going to leave it there, Mandisi. But if you haven't had an opportunity to go and watch Man of Good Hope at the District 6 Museum, it's now been extended to next week and Sunday, so you can go and check it out. That, of course, is Mandisi Dyantyis. He's the musical director of Man of Good Hope, a musical which has been running at the District 6 Museum in Cape Town since the show was hosted there. The production is based on a very successful book on the same name by author Johnny Steinberg. Go and check it out. We take an ad break. Don't go anywhere.